everyone that was in my life, that went through my life, they should be able to be like, it should be my simulation. So it's like, because I'm not gonna lie, I hate to
No,
say it. Like, I hate to say it. Like, I do feel like the world revolves around me. I know how bad that sounds, but in my mind, like I said, when I feel like when I wake up, like you'll be there, right, in your little pod. Everyone, Jordan, Shy, everybody who's connected in my life, I should be able to walk through them in that little room and see them. So it's like the world revolves around you, yes, because you're in my world, you're in your world, right? It's all connected. Like everyone you see, you should better look down the hallway and see, oh, I went to school with that motherfucker in elementary school.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
What are you touching?
No, I'm not. I'm on down. Go ahead.
Alright, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pixels podcast. Welcome back.
You don't know something behind your head.
Today we're gonna be talking about something a little different, something a little bit more nerdy. We're talking about whether or not we believe we're living in a simulation. So, you know, after today's talk, we'll know who has the higher IQ thoughts.
Okay, so do you think you live in IQ? Do you think you live in a simulation? Be honest.
Do I believe it? Well, I don't know. I'm gonna say no. I don't think we live in a simulation because if we're not able to simulate our own thoughts in a computer, or at least like our reality inside of a computer, there's no way that there has to be somebody else who can do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's not true. We can though. We can
no,
though.
No, not to the same point where no, not like Sims.
No, okay.
Not entirely the same thoughts, the way that we can, all of our calculations that go in our brain at the same second, it's never going to be at the same level that a computer can run. Well, no, the computer can run at that, but imagine all of the humans in the entire world being able to be simulated in a single computer. I don't think there's the technology that we have.
I don't think it's proven.
Do that yet.
Okay, I don't think it's proven that we do. But look at The Sims. You know how in The Sims they got different personalities, that you like different traits you choose, right? So what if the person who playing us choose our traits, send us out there, and it's just more advanced Sims?
That's what I'm saying. Okay, this is what I don't think right now we can say that we're living in a simulation. But if it gets to the point where we have the technology to simulate everybody's thoughts, everybody's interactions, everything in this world onto the computer, and then if the rate at which technology is going to be moving and expanding, yeah, of course, then we can figure out whether or not we're living in a simulation. But right now, I don't believe it.
So for you,
we're not capable of simulating ourselves.
Okay, yeah. So as long as we can make a simulation of other people, that's the only way you'll believe that we live in a simulation.
Yeah, and then another thing too, like, not only that, if we're capable of having that technology to simulate our world, that world cannot blow up, because then it just defeats the entire purpose of whether or not we're living in a simulation. Because
this how I think it'll work. We'll make a new simulation, and then they'll make their simulation, and then they'll make their simulation. You get it? You get it? It'd just be a loop. It'd be a loop. Like, it's for me. Okay, for me.
That's what I'm saying. If we can replicate ourselves, then there's a chance that someone bigger than us can replicate.
Yes. That's
the whole point.
All right, but this is what makes it weird, right? If you really think about it, right? Technology alone is scary because it's like, yo, how do we get this stuff? How do we get our iPhone? You know, how do we get a computer? How do we get VR? Like, what took someone to think about, yo, we can build this shit? Cause think about it. Let's say you was born. Let's say you was born. Okay, and you had to build a computer. Okay, how would you do it?
Oh well, I'm not gonna have to. I'm not gonna have the intuition and know from the start. I'm gonna have to ask somebody about it.
Okay, but let's say you wasn't. Let's say you was born in a time where no computers.
Okay.
How do we get to that? How do we get to that point?
How do you get the thought process that creates something like that?
Yeah. Like, how do we know to make RAM? How do we know to make a CPU? How do we know to make a motherboard? You know what I'm saying? Like, how? Because, like, think about it. If everyone's living in the old ways, like, how did they was like, oh, I'm gonna make this. Okay, you got an idea. Oh, I'm gonna make a computer, right? Okay, where do you start? You don't know where you start, do you? Do you know where to start?
No, but it starts off with like simplifying it from like the super smallest idea. It's not gonna jump from immediately having nothing to RAM or immediately having nothing to a computer. It's gonna start off at like the smallest level. Like think
Okay.
about it. Like,
All right. Okay. Okay. Survival games. Okay. When you start a survival
mhm.
game, you start out with a pickaxe and your arm, your fist, right? Basically, right? And
Yeah, it's
as
the
you
same
progress,
concept.
okay, so how do you know that we're not living in a simulation where it's just a game? Like, it's just a game to them.
Oh, are you saying if
So,
there's like someone else
yes.
who is
So,
deciding
yes.
what the next thing that's
Yes.
gonna come out?
Yes. So, like, okay, the iPhone, it's just an update in our world. Like, that's how I look at it. You see what I'm
So you're
saying?
saying like the next, so you're saying like the next Tesla or the next idea that
It's the world
Elon Musk
update.
has.
Elon Musk himself is an update.
So when you say it like that, you're basically saying that we don't have the free will to be able to think of our
Yes.
own ideas naturally by ourselves, and that somebody else, like some bigger person,
Like, for
is
instance,
doing
for instance,
everything
for instance, let's take Elon
in
Musk for
order.
instance. Let's take Elon Musk for instance. What if? How do we
Yeah.
know, right, that he's just not a developer in the world to make stuff? Like, you gotta think about it. Like, they just hired another developer. Like, in our world,
So who was a developer before him?
we don't know. He wasn't alive. What, Michael? Okay, for instance, okay,
Nikola Tesla,
Steve Jobs.
like
Steve Jobs could
Steve
have been a
Jobs, but he's not an
developer.
engineer. He was just a businessman behind Apple.
Yes, but that's
You
part of.
can't say,
Okay, but how much shit do you need to run a business?
well, he has to learn about that. Adapting.
But he could have
That's
learned it. He
another
could have
thing
learned
too.
it
Like
in
maybe
the.
it's
He could have
just
learned it in the real world. You see what I'm saying? It just don't make any sense. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know it's so
so
weird.
that's no, because you're trying to figure out what is in the real world versus what could actually be simulated by somebody else
Exactly.
who's
Or
bigger than
or
us.
for instance, you know how we don't know what happens when we die, right? How do you know that
Yeah.
you was already born before in the real world? You died in the real world, and then they upload you to the new world, and you have the same skills. You have the same skills. You live basically the same life,
hmm
and you're just the update. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just part of the world.
But even if we knew, or if somebody out there who is going to challenge the idea of this world was not created by us, or this world is a simulation, nobody has proven it to be
Okay. All
true
right.
or has gone against
I'm gonna
it.
take Promise
Like,
Neverland. I'm gonna take the Promise Neverland. When the kids got to the farm, they didn't know that it was gonna get eaten, right? But they've been doing it for years and
hmm
years and years, right? So
hmm
that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know. You don't know. You only know what you know. What you
no,
born.
no.
Like, you don't even know what you're born. Like, even the process of
I know,
growing.
but
Even
think
the
about it like
process of
this.
growing up to me is like weird. It's weird to me. Like,
How is it weird?
because I was this small and now I'm like what, this tall. Like, it's just the whole process is just like one day I'm gonna get
What?
old. Like, in my mind, it's like, bro, how can I get old if I never been there? You know what I'm saying? Like, what makes me old? Like, that makes no sense. Like, what makes me old? And then you see how you see that.
You're
Okay,
asking
you
about the
see.
concept of time
Okay,
now.
and then you see how the way I age. So that makes it even more weird for me because I'm just like, bro, I look the same that I look. It's weird. It's weird.
You believe that every single thing that you do in your life, someone is already making that decision for you.
No, that's why they say, oh, it's your destiny to do something, or it's your fate to do
How do you,
something.
okay, so is it up to the simulators or the people in who are creating this entire simulation? I mean,
No, all
what?
right.
Do
This,
they give you free will to do whatever you want, or do they
yes,
know what you're gonna do ahead of time?
yes. I think they know. They know your end goal. Like, okay, let's say I'm meant to be the richest man in the world. right? I feel like I was destined for that, right? You know, like this is how I look at it. Like you lived the exact same life that you lived in your other world, but in this world.
Do you believe that there's gonna be multiple worlds, like
Yeah,
after
yeah,
this
yeah,
world,
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever
Actually, yeah, yeah,
after
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah, yeah,
simulation?
yeah. I feel like when I die, you'll know the truth, and then they'll just ask you, "Do you want to be in another world?" You lose all your memories, and you keep going. I do like okay.
Do you have the same skills? Do you have the same like?
Yes,
What do you? It's
you
a totally
basically
another
it's a
world, like
complete. You start right back over. You do the
into
same thing.
another baby. So like Benjamin Button.
Yep, and exactly what you're doing now, you're doing the next world. So criminals
I
will
don't
still
know
be
about that.
criminals. You know what I mean? Like it's just how it is. Like think about it, Shauna. VR alone is crazy, right? It's crazy how it works. I can you just like in real time. Like you explain that to me. You can't tell me it's not a virtual world. We already creating worlds.
Yeah, to a certain extent, you should have free will in this world, but I don't think there are people who are making those decisions for you because that's what the purpose of a simulation is. Like, they should know and be able to control certain things about certain people. Like Sims, for instance, like they might have like family oriented characteristics, or you know how
Okay.
you
All
can
right. You
pick
ready for
like if
this?
they're
You
mischievous
ready for
or
this? You ready for
like
this?
they
You
have
ready for this?
humor. Yeah.
They do control us.
Oh.
Parents. Your parent tell you to do something, you do it. Correct? Correct?
Okay,
And I
but then
think
the parents are being controlled by the other parents, and then it's just a loop
exactly,
back to isn't it just
exactly,
a matter of
exactly,
it's
exactly. So
no, it's
technically,
not
no,
gonna
no,
go
no.
back to one
Okay,
head
okay,
person
okay.
though.
They could have set the rules, right? Like you have to be 21 to drink. When you're 18, you're legally an adult, meaning at 18 you make your own choices. But leading up to that, you can't make your own choices.
But
You
that's
rob
the
a hold on, hold
government.
on, hold on. The government is the I didn't think about it. Like it's the head of the fucking.
No. Yeah, the
You go to
government
jail.
gives you rules, but those are people. If we okay, but the rules by the government have always changed. They've
Exactly.
always changed them from the beginning of time. So is it this the simulation doing that, or is it the people who are making the decisions to change whatever is in history so that we
Okay.
have a better? Oh my god!
Okay, you ready for this? You ready for
Sorry.
this? VR
Yeah.
chat had different name tags. They changed that,
Mhm.
right? They added so many features to it. They took things away.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if they feel like something better, more efficient, then of course they're gonna try to make it better to give us the
So
best
you
world
think
that we
that the
can have.
developers of this world is trying to give us a better update by changing the laws and changing people?
Exactly. But what if we both died and woke up and realized that it was a simulation?
Oh, well, then we're just gonna have to accept that. Like, either way, I can't prove it. I know I can't prove it. You can't prove it. So there's no one else in this world who has proven it, but
That's
maybe they
true.
have a theory.
That's true. I can't prove
Till
it.
that point, I'm gonna believe no until proven
Okay, you can
otherwise.
prove no to proven,
But
right?
you choose to
Yeah.
believe. Yeah, you
Yeah.
choose to believe it. So in case that it does happen, you could say, "Oh, yeah, I know it was
There's
right
enough.
from the
There's
beginning."
enough proof there. There's enough proof.
Even if we found out that we're living in a simulation, how would we be able to distinguish what's real and what's not real? How would you figure out, or at least how would you want the simulation to show you that you're living in
Oh,
reality or you're living in a
I would
simulation?
rather than wait till I die, right? And I wake up,
Mm,
and then they be like, "Yo, did you enjoy your life?" Well, yeah.
mm.
Everyone that was in my life, that went through my life, they should be able to be like, it should be my simulation. So it's like, cause I'm not gonna lie, I hate to
No,
say it, like I hate to say it, like I do feel like the world revolves around me. I know how bad that sounds, but in my mind, like I said, when I wake up, like you'll be there, right, in your little pod. Everyone, Jordan, Shy, everybody who's connected in my life, I should be able to walk through them in that little room and see them. So it's like the world revolves around you, yes, because you're in my world, you're in your world, right? It's all connected. Like everyone you see, you should better look down the hallway and see. Oh, I went to school with that motherfucker in elementary school.
this is weird the way
I
you
wouldn't. I wouldn't freak out.
do
I wouldn't freak out. Like, of course, I love the memories and think about it, but like, I get to see you. You know how they say when you die, you can see the people who died already when you go to heaven. What if
Mm-hmm.
everyone that died in your life is waiting there, watching you right now, looking down at you? See how that makes sense? Like, And when you die, you see them again.
I don't know. That's interesting. Say that you already know you're living in a simulation, and like you already know, so it's not like you're questioning whether
Okay,
or
all
not
right.
we
So look,
are.
this is how I feel.
So
Let's
I'm
say,
saying like if you yeah.
yeah, let's say right now
No, go ahead.
we're talking about it. Let's say the overlords or whatever looking at us being like, shit, he's figuring it out. But they're not gonna worry. They're not gonna worry because they're gonna like, okay, he figured it out, but he can't prove it. No one's gonna freak out. Everyone's gonna think he's crazy for thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. I rather know when
Then you
I
just turn
rather
into
know
another
after.
cult.
Exactly. I rather know when I'm
Yeah.
out. It's just easier. I don't need to figure it out. Like I said, I know it sounds weird, but like the fact that we can make virtual worlds, it's already halfway there.
Halfway there. I think it's like up until the point where it's actually everything is the same as our current world and not like
Why can't?
is not that you can't tell a difference.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
can't
All
tell a
right.
difference
Okay.
between
All
the
right.
simulated
I'm
world we create and then our current world, then yeah,
let's make a
I
bet.
think we hit that point where we can.
I put $1,000.
What are we
Listen,
gonna
hold on.
bet?
I put $1,000 within the next 15 years. You're gonna have touch, smell, and feel, and you can feel stuff in VR.
15 years.
15 years. So when you kiss somebody in VR, you'll be able to feel it. I bet that 15 years.
15 years. I think you need more, like
Nope,
30.
15. 15.
But okay, well, let's bet on it then. Let's
All
bet
right,
on
let's
it. And
bet.
if it's less than 15 years or within
I
that
get my
range, you
money.
said $1,000?
$1,000.
It's just $1,000.
So okay.
Okay. 15 years?
Yep.
Okay, see what 15 years. How would I want to know? Okay, I already know that we're living in a simulation. That's what the question said. So if
Mhm.
I knew that we're already living in a simulation, I have to figure out whether or not it's real or not real. I'd have to do like some Inception jujitsu type of thing. And I want to figure it out like that. You know how they have like the totem
Yeah.
that they use to figure out whether or not they're in the dream world or if whether or not they're in reality. So something
Mhm.
like that where you can just
Just
you
go in.
use like a certain item just to tell you
Okay, so
whether or not that you're
when you figure it
in
out, well, then
reality
what?
or I'm not gonna change. Well, that's the next question too. Like, if you even knew that you're really thinking in a simulation, would that change the way you think about the world and change the way that you are currently living?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Because for me, I think I'd be stressed. I'd be less stressed out because if I knew that I'm in a simulation, like, oh, all my thoughts, all my ideas, all my actions that I'm gonna do for the next couple of years until I die is already plotted out for me. Like, it's already pretty much set in stone.
The only thing I would hope is I know like if I mean think about it, if we was reborn, then I lost my memories anyway. But I don't know. Like I would love to keep my memories forever. Like for instance, the vampire thing. When a vampire dies, I would love to live forever. I can literally like I know it sounds bad, but like I know you lose your family and you watch everybody die, but I ain't gonna lie, I could probably live through that. I'll be fine. I live forever.
But then, like, everybody's dying. Everybody
Yeah,
you
but
love is
okay,
dying.
but when
But
okay,
what if
but
you couldn't bring the people that you love most with you?
then I would.
Let's say it's confirmed we're not living in a simulation. There's no developers, and I guess our world is whatever we make it to be. What if developers make an artificial reality that's built in a simulated world? It's like our life, but with mods, and it's better. Would you want to live in that simulated world instead of our real life?
Yes and no. Yes, because that'd be dope. No, because I feel like I want like a mixture. Like I don't know. Like let me go there when I'm old. Like not when I'm young.
Yeah, because you want to experience at least what
Yeah,
everybody's been experiencing for the
yeah.
past couple of
Like
years.
if it was VR chat, right, and all the world was connected, I can go fly or explore the world like normally. Then yeah, I'll probably do it. But it gotta be
I
like
don't know.
guaranteed.
I'm old school.
It gotta be like guaranteed like immortal type shit. Like
What, you can't have a blend of both
you
while
can.
you're living
Okay.
in both worlds?
All right. You can just ask for an update. Yo, can you make an update where the people in the real life can still contact me?
Right. I think it's true the fact that yeah, technology is gonna always be increasing. It's always gonna be evolving forever, hopefully. But up until that point, I'm still gonna say nah, we're not living in a simulation. Up until they can prove it. Because otherwise, I'm just gonna keep living my life. Nothing's gonna change. Just focus on what we have right now.
See,
Is that narrow-minded
no, cause
or what?
I don't know. Like, let's say you sick, you go to the doctors, they get your X-ray scan, and then they say, "Hey, take this medicine," right? They just trying to fix. You're just a bug in the game. They trying to fix the bug. Like it's
So
like
everybody who's dying from, sorry to be morbid, like everybody who's dying from cancer, everybody who's dying from diseases, sickness, alcohol, mental illness, what are you trying to say about them? That
the devs are trying to
the
make up.
developers
Okay,
were just like,
no, the devs.
these
Okay,
people are not gonna
oh,
be
all right,
able
all
to.
right, all right.
What?
For instance, everybody say VR chat run like shit.
So he's trying
Some
to
bugs can't be
optimize the
fixed.
simulation.
Some bugs can't be fixed. Some bugs can't be fixed.
No, you're trying to say you're optimizing the world so that it can run faster for better people. Oh my god, you fucked up for that.
I know it's. I mean, yeah, come on. I'm just trying to like give an example. Okay, shit, I gotta poop though. So bad.
Okay.
I should stop recording. Should I leave that in there?